Hundreds attended the first day of the 2015 PNG Women's Forum. Prime Minister inspects damaged roads linking Highlands Highway. And the inaugural Super Nines ends in Kimbe despite heavy downpour.
This is National MTV News with Tokana Hasavi.
A very good evening to you and welcome to Monday's news. It's good to have your company. The 2015 PNG Women's Forum began today in Port Moresby with hundreds of women in attendance. The forum, which was co-hosted by the US Embassy and the Department of Community Development, Youth and Religion, brought together women from a vast cross-section of professions and lifestyles from around the country. Keynote speaker, Secretary General of the Pacific Islands Forum, Dame Meg Taylor, shared her story and experiences from being a very young village girl to having held distinguished posts at international levels.
Lily, I'd like
a full house today on day one of the PNG Women's Forum at the Crown Plaza in Port Moresby. This is the second PNG Women's Forum aimed at encouraging women to forge partnerships and networks for a louder and stronger voice for issues that concern them. The keynote address was delivered by the Secretary General of the Pacific Island Forum Secretariat, Dame Meg Taylor. Hers was a story of family values, discipline and hard work that brought her to where she is today.
And then there were those incredible people in our history that are so important to think about. John Guise, Te Abau, Sess Abel, and then later on Josephine Abijah. Those were the powerful people who had left great impressions on my life.
For those in senior and management positions, Dame Meg said hiring younger women or young people who are smarter should not be an intimidating act.
The work in the public sector, working in government was always important. Working in the private sector and working particularly at the time of self-government and independence had tremendous impact on how I saw the world and how my future was shaped.
The other keynote speaker was Commander of the 14th Coast Guard District, U.S. Coast Guard, Rear Admiral Kerry Thomas.
As the oceans rise, it's important to preserve the environment. And Papua New Guinea and the nations of the Pacific Island Forum have really demonstrated that commitment.
U.S. Ambassador Walter North hopes that the forum will facilitate the development of concrete results that can be used by all to advance gender issues in Papua New Guinea.
Together, the United States and Papua New Guinea agree on many, many things. But one of the most important things that we agree on is that gender equality, empowering women and girls, and eliminating gender-based violence are among the most important things that we can do. We have made strides, but we have a long way to go.
The forum continues to Wednesday, where a range of topics will be deliberated on during the panel discussions. Ambassador North challenged the women to deepen the partnerships for collaboration. Delhi Bagu, National MTV News.
Secretary for the Department of Community Development, Anna Solomon, said women can effect change beginning at home. In an interview with MTV at the forum, Ms. Solomon said the government is playing its part by putting in place policies that give prominence to gender issues. And part of the implementation of these policies is for women at home to exercise gender equality with their children.
Secretary for the Department of Community Development, Anna Solomon, said Papua New Guinean women are a strong and resilient group. She said despite the remoteness of many unit families from basic government services, local women still manage to provide and care for their families.
I was very happy to describe our Papua New Guinean women as strong, resilient women, and that I go right back to the village where our mothers are, right to the national level. And you know, our mothers are strong women. They've kept communities and families going despite government services, and they must be commended.
During the forum, panel discussions touched on PNG's international commitments to strengthen women's rights, while much of the discussions focused on the implementation strategies PNG was using. With the United Nations Millennium Development Goals due this year, President of the PNG Council of Women, Teresa Jane Tong, said more needed to be done on the ground, where the majority of the women live in communities.
Yeah, National Council of Women, we would like to see all these conventions addressed because those are the issues we've been fighting for. And it has to be supported by the critical mass. And critical mass must also understand the information must go out. Yes, I think there's going to be some sessions here, but I'd like to see awareness.
The issues of access to education for girls and the damaging results of violence against women still needed much attention. Prime Minister Peter O'Neill was not at the forum today as he is attending an Australia PNG Business Council event. However, in a statement, he said a man of strength is one who never resorts to violence against women. He said everyone must respect the rights and safety of women in the community. Delhi Bagu, National MTV News.
International Women's Day was observed worldwide yesterday, and in light of the celebrations, Brazil displayed its respects in a bright and symbolic manner. Christ the Redeemer, the iconic colossal statue in Rio de Janeiro, was lit up in bright pink yesterday in commemoration of the special day. The statue was received well by residents as a beautiful tribute, while others discussed the significance of women's rights and existing wage and social inequalities. The United Nations' principal objectives for the Global Day was for each girl to exercise her choices, including participating in politics, acquiring an education, having an income and living in societies free from violence and discrimination. Workers' claim will be processed and paid out in a much shorter time frame. This is possible through a new automated claims processing and payment system by the Office of Workers' Compensation. A website was also launched to complement the new automated system.
PNG team and my staff,
the Office of Workers' Compensation in recent years has been inundated with workers' compensation claims. Chief Commissioner of OWC, Evelina Kinney, says an estimated 100 claims are received daily, but the turnaround time has been slow due to the manual system. But this new computerized system will help improve that. Acting Secretary for Department of Labour and Industrial Relations, George Vaso, says it must take less than 12 months to process all claims.
The objective of the CPPS, the acronym for Computer Processing and Payment System, is to minimize the turnaround time of workers' comp claims processing and settlement under the Workers' Compensation Act, an area that has been a great challenge to OWC over the years, and I am sure many of you here present are aware of that.
The new processing system and website heralds a milestone for workers' compensation in the country. OWC plans to cover the rural workers who are often missing out.
Employers can register with CPPS online and check the status of the employees' claims. This is something OWC has not been able to provide for in the past. Where an employer has no online access, we encourage them to visit the Customer Service Center at OWC for assistance.
Workers' compensation has come a long way during its formative years under the Workers' Compensation Ordinance 1958 to 1961. Vaso says a review will be done to the Workers' Compensation Act 1978 to cater for the change in working environment. Mickey Cavera, National MTV News.
And National MTV News continues after the break. Upgrade of roads linking Highlands Highway and Southern Highlands launches 5-year development plan. Stay with us. Good to have you back with National MTV News. Prime Minister Peter O'Neill announced the upgrade of roads linking the Highlands Highway after inspecting damaged roads caused by recent bad weather. During his visit to Southern Highlands Province last week, he said the upgrade of roads will commence soon. He also announced other main road upgrades, including the Southern Highlands Highway that will link Gulf Province.
Southern Highlands Province has many road networks. It is surrounded by rugged mountains which at times make traveling difficult. In bad weather, roads are ruined and travelers are affected. This small bridge in Yalibu was damaged by a truck. When MTV arrived at the scene, angry villagers wanted to block off the road completely. The bridge collapsed later that afternoon. 2 weeks ago, continuous rain in the highlands caused major flooding, landslides and a series of road damage in parts of Hela and Southern Highlands province. At the beginning of the year, landslides in Kainantu in Eastern Highlands province blocked areas of the highway. Prime Minister Peter O'Neill said the upgrading of the roads will commence once proper groundwork is done in the affected areas.
Must continue on maintaining road go down the connecting the road go down the.
He also announced other major road projects in the province, like the Southern Highlands Highway that will connect the province to Kikori in the Gulf. The Prime Minister was keen at seeing all development projects in the Southern Highlands complete. With the 2015 Pacific Games only months away, the Prime Minister says major reconstruction of the Highlands Highway will start after the Games. Stanley Over Jr., National MTV News.
Nipa Pitbull in the Southern Highlands province launched its 5-year development plan last week. The plan will cover major development projects in the district. Prime Minister Peter O'Neill, who was present to launch the development plan, says the government is stable now more than ever and is delivering services to its people.
It was a day of celebration for the people of Nipa Pitbull in the Southern Highlands province. They came from all corners of the district to witness the launching of their 5-year development plan. The 5-year development plan will serve over 90,000 people from the Nipa Basin, Poroma, Nembi, Pimanga to the foothills of Mount Bosavi. For the last 22 years, the Nipa Pitbull district has seen little development. In 1997, UNESCO report revealed the district has the lowest human development in the country. The district's MP, Jeffrey Komal, described Nipa as a disadvantaged area in the Southern Highlands province despite hosting most of the country's natural resources.
As the petroleum industry grew over the years, the social services available to people in Nipa Pitbull should have grown along with it. This has not happened, my Prime Minister.
The plan will cover major development projects in the district, rural electrification and healthcare infrastructures, and major road upgrade and maintenance, a roadmap for development in the district.
We all have to work together, LLGs, districts, Southern Highlands provincial government, national government, and importantly, the resource development.
Receiving the plan, Prime Minister Peter O'Neill assured the hundreds gathered that the national government will continue to support small districts like Nipa Pitbull. The Prime Minister says the District Services Improvement Program is working for districts in the country and Nipa Pitbull will see changes in the coming years.
And the government is looking finish. Where people invest in planting money go inside the other district. People got determination in the same country.
The Prime Minister also delivered funds to the district to start the upgrade on the Nipa to Mendi Road and the completion of the Nipa Hospital. Stanley Over Jr., National MTV News.
Students from Hagen Park Secondary School in Western Highlands Province expressed frustrations on the streets of Mount Hagen City last week. Unconfirmed reports are that limited classroom space has left the grade 9 students outside for 7 weeks now. It is believed the frustrated students took to the streets of Mount Hagen in protest. However, no one was injured and no property was destroyed. A source from Mount Hagen said the complaints about limited spacing are not true. He said the students were chasing some drunk youths who threw stones on their classroom ceiling. Proper planning and research needs to be conducted for policies such as the National Population Policy 2015 to 2024 to be achieved. The policy aims to reduce the rate of population growth to a more manageable level and to improve the quality of life and living standards in Papua New Guinea. Even though such policy can set a benchmark to PNG's development, developmental issues need to be identified before addressing it. NTV's Vasinatayama reports.
A senior researcher in the National Research Institute and the former director, Dr. Thomas Webster, has outlined the constraints and issues PNG is currently facing giving Port Moresby City as an example. Dr. Webster said the way the city has been planned was in an ad hoc way, which creates problems for the transportation system. Furthermore, he said the Lands Department does not contribute to proper planning of the cities and towns. For example, with the new suburbs created at 8 and 9 Mile, no nearby schools and hospitals are there for them to bring the kids to. Many of them bring the kids into the city, which then creates traffic jam in the morning and afternoons.
So it's poor planning, and the problem is Lands Department. They don't contribute to proper planning of our cities and towns, and they're contributing to all of this. And it's one of the weaknesses that I'm now fed up with the government. We tell them to do some of these things, they don't do it properly.
Secretary General of the Pacific Islands Forum Secretariat, Dame Meg Taylor, further highlights the issues concerning PNG that needs more attention. She says PNG must focus on infrastructural development. However, violence against women and health care for mothers and children are foremost. Dame Meg said the tremendous opportunity for PNG is the resources that we have and how best it can be utilized for development. She also said the issue of population growth is important.
I think having all the resources that we have can make us very lazy and just hope that all this will just keep going and we will live off it. Well, we won't. It won't last.
Meanwhile, strategies from the National Population Policy 2015 to 2024 will look into having a substantial strengthened and reproductive health service delivery by the end of 2024. However, the request still remains for an effective development planning and research at all levels of government to manage population change and its impacts. Vasina Tayama, National MTV News.
More families living in settlement areas are losing their homes to eviction with the rapid developments in major towns and cities. In Lae City, a number of evictions have forced people to resettle in new suburbs and rebuild their lives all over again. But while many are adapting to their new living environment, others see it as an expensive exercise.
In growing towns like Port Moresby and Lae, eviction exercises and displacement of evicted settlers is becoming a government concern. The recent eviction in Lae's Limkey area has left families with thousands of kina worth of property destroyed. While some have resorted to living in makeshift houses, others have settled in Bumbu. Evelyn Aitia is amongst the group that decided to remain in Limkey. She has been living in this area for over 3 decades.
Mitupla pikinini is hidip number to ground now ya. Na pikinini now mi find him hard misai. Mi find him hard to look out him now. Na mino ksim monta good meno ka this la drum mi misaksi waral longem welcome katikatim na tromai.
Her experience is similar to other evicted settlers in the country. Since the eviction last Friday, Evelyn finds it difficult, especially to collect water for drinking and cooking. Every night, she worries of what tomorrow will bring. Nengi Somba is another evicted settler. She lived here with her husband and 8 children. She and other evicted settlers claimed no proper eviction notice was issued to them, and the eviction came as a surprise.
Mi tablong hiya na nila pun pinis. Man bolo mi inday. Mi tu pala istat na man meria emikam. Mi tu pala ino ikam natin.
O kisi masin ontem kam. Rausim ogra something. All golang hard side. Ola rausim waya na meltim waya. Ola saulim house mitok. No mi karai wante mi go kam na mitok. No ke rausim. Rare mi et pa rausim house.
When MTV visited the area this morning, this is how it looked. All coconut uprooted and houses torn to the ground. Such evictions are not the first, and they certainly will not be the last. With the rapid infrastructure developments happening in major towns and cities, more families settling on government land will be evicted. Takla Gunga, National MTV News, Lae.
Morobe Provincial Health TB program has received donations in kind from a lay company after realizing the need to enhance TB volunteer treatment partner program. This comes after a dip in TB volunteers' work in Morobe. This is a first for the year where the Provincial Health TB program is getting support from a company after seeking various assistance.
In PNG, tuberculosis has become a high priority for the government. In Morobe, the TB program will be enhanced through volunteers to care for TB patients. Morobe Provincial TB and Leprosy Coordinator Karen Yamani says the Provincial Health TB Program initiative aims to bring in donations to assist the program.
I'm really proud and privileged to have IFC donating tin fish to the volunteer treatment partners.
Today, Leyte District, through the Provincial Health TB program, received 150 cartons of tin fish as incentives to support its TB Volunteer Treatment Partner program. The TB Volunteer Treatment Partner program is aimed at minimizing TB in communities by engaging volunteers to monitor TB patients.
We have from the Prime Minister itself, that's another one incentive which is quite severe to me, which is TB is one of the biggest issues that we're facing by the Papua New Guinea.
The donations received today for TB volunteers in Ley is a positive move in support of the World TB Day that will be celebrated on the 24th of March this year. It expects to see more TB patients being cared for and monitored for taking their drugs. Colin Barilai, National MTV News, Ley.
And now we take a look at the finance news. The kina closed unchanged at $0.3775 in the interbank market, and at Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.37 $0.4762 Australian dollars, $0.3375 euro, and 44.34 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, copper and cocoa closed the day lower, coffee closed higher, crude oil closed higher, while copper and palm oil closed the day lower. And finally, on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 279 points lower, the ASX closed at 77 points lower, and the All Ordinaries closed at 75 points lower. Among stories making headlines overseas, families remembering their loved ones on flight MH370 1 year on. Stay with us for the details. Good to have you back with the news. Turning overseas now, as Iraqi forces battle ISIS, business is going well for those in the military supplies industry. While tailors and vendors thrive off war, they are still hoping for a peaceful future.
The tailors of Baghdad are busy.
This is uniform from the Iraqi army.
Amr, he likes to go by the nickname Big Al, spends his days mending, taking in and taking out uniforms in the capital's Bebsharji market. His livelihood depends on war, but he insists he's a man of peace.
I hate the war. I hate the terrorists. I am Muslim. I like the peace. I love the peace. I wanted the peace.
The customers, like Aziz, say they need to be ready for ISIS.
If they came to Baghdad, but I have to fight because I have to protect my wife and my only small girl. So what you want me to do? Let those people to come to raid my house and kill my wife? Take me in a corner and shoot me?
19-year-old Karar has worked here since the age of 5. What matters is we do good work, he says. Money isn't important. We have to fight Daesh. That's what they call ISIS in these parts. With the dogs of war running loose in Iraq, much of this market now caters to the needs of would-be warriors. Business is booming. If you're looking for accessories, this is the place to come. Maybe you're looking for a uniform, a bulletproof vest, a scope for your rifle, a knife for the battlefield, a holster for your pistol. But this is actually a cigarette lighter, not a pistol. If you're looking for the real thing, that can only be obtained behind closed doors. There's a thriving illegal trade in weapons. Cameras, however, are not welcome. Much of these goods come from China, although the merchants here have added their own twist, inspired by the movie American Sniper. It's all here, all, as this vendor tells me, to use against Daesh.
Investigators have found no indications of unusual behavior among the pilots and cabin crew of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 before it took off and vanished a year ago. The report, which contained factual information about the missing plane rather than analysis, offered the relatives of the 239 people on board no apparent answers about why the aircraft dropped off the radar. Most of the passengers on the flight were from China. This week, families gathered in Beijing to mark the first anniversary and pay their respects.
A mother relives precious memories of her son. She shows me her favorite photo. He looks so handsome, she says. With each day he is missing, the pain is worse. Bien Yang Jin was doing construction work in Singapore, saving money to start a dental practice. But like 239 souls on board MH370, he vanished. 1 year on, his mother still hasn't lost hope. If it is 1 year, if it's 2 or 3, she says, I know he will return. I know he's still alive. Families here won't believe what anyone says about MH370 until they have physical proof. There is no wreckage, no luggage, no cargo was found. They are alive, says his father. My eldest son held the family together, he says. He really loved and respected us. He's modest. He's better than our second son. Bian's younger brother looked to him for support. They were best friends. He shows me where they used to sleep together on a small bed, where they kept their toys. When he was here, everything was okay with our family, he says. Now everything is up to me. I hope he's alive. I hope he is somewhere alive. I just know he wants to come back home to us. The mother says she cries at every meal. The family stuck in a cycle of grief as they wait for their favorite son and brother to return.
On a much more lighter note, a story from the United States about a dog that has not stopped growing. It's amazing to see how the Pitbull is so big, and he has become a media sensation.
With his towering height, those sensitive eyes, no wonder New York is bullish on this Pitbull.
This thing is beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Yeah? Want to meet him?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to meet Hulk, one of the largest pit bulls on Earth, and at 18 months, still growing? Hello there. Hello. Oh. Yes, what a good boy. Pinning me up against his van, Hulk made a weighty impression, 175 pounds of weight.
Hulk, man, get yourself together, brother.
Normally he lives up on a farm in New Hampshire, the home of Dark Dynasty canines, where Marlon and Lisa Grennan breed guard dogs. Like the TV Hulk, this Hulk has his tough side. Most of the time, he's so placid that he let his owner's son ride him and just plop down during his TV appearances.
So chill.
So chill that Hulk tends to sleep right through it when the boy pulls on his tongue.
He's still asleep.
The Grennans want people to know that even a giant pit bull isn't vicious.
He's mellow. With these dogs, it's all about leadership and how you raise them. You know, rules, boundaries, limits, you know.
One of Hulk's peculiarities is howling to the harmonica. Oh, Hulk was reluctant to sing on The View. He's being constantly sized up.
27 3/4 is fair.
Well, you know, he's been in New York with all this publicity. He's probably, you know, his head's probably getting swollen now. Hulk seemed like a breed apart from all the New York City dogs dressed in their winter coats, yet we discovered...
One of his best friends is our 5-pound Chihuahua.
This big bruiser seems to have a taste for little dogs.
Hulk! Come on, boy.
And when Hulk the Pitbull met Max, the toy poodle, he could have him for dinner, but he wouldn't. He wouldn't. Instead of dining on Max, Hulk tried to sniff. All right, all right. Both ends.
Oh, my God.
That poodle's jacket would probably fit Hulk as a hat.
And back home, Trukai Industries Limited has contributed 10 million kina in excess to health, education and sporting programs. The rice company also rewards its loyal customers through competitions such as I Love My Jasmine promotion, which ran in the month of February. Trukai Industries announced its 6 lucky winners recently with the presentation at the headquarters in Port Moresby.
These are the winning pictures that were uploaded for the I Love My Jasmine competition to win a free Samsung Galaxy S5 mobile phone. Customers were asked to upload pictures of themselves with jasmine rice, and according to a set criteria, Trukai Industries was able to select the winners. Of the 6 winners, 3 winners were present to claim their prizes. They included Emma Mel, Jolene Carvo and Harriet Anderson. Nicola Annie Otto joined in later on, making it the 4th person to redeem her prize. The marketing team from Trukai Industries Limited said the competition was a way of rewarding loyal customers. Trukai Industries will be running similar competitions in the coming months. The rice company says agriculture is at the core of Trukai Industries, and as a company it invests 200 million kina in local agricultural industry infrastructure. This includes a 220,000-ton capacity rice mill and packing plant with 12 national supply centers, serving more than 80 wholesale and retail distributors. The rice company believes that the competition helps to promote its products and at the same time reward loyal customers. Bridget Komatap, National MTV News.
And Trukai Sports is coming up next. I'll give you all the details after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The Queensland State Championships ended over the weekend with PNG athletes finishing on top of the podium. Toya Whistle ran an impressive 23.61 seconds in the 200 metres and 11.52 seconds in the 100 metre. Whistle won the 200 metre race and Betty Burra finished 3rd. Donna Coniel also ran in the 400 metre hurdles in the Women's Open and came 2nd. Moen Bueno competed in the 400 metre finals and won his race, clocking a record time of 51.51 seconds, and Peniel Joshua from New Ireland Province ran his personal best time of 53.76 seconds. In the 200 metres, Nelson Stone ran a personal best time of 21.28 seconds and finished 4th. The inaugural Super 9's Rugby League tournament ended on a high note in Kimbe at the weekend. Despite the heavy downpour forecasted for Kimbe Town, all 12 teams turned up and battled for entry into the National Rugby League Championships in Lae this weekend. MTV's Lorraine Genia was in Kimbe for the games.
In the final leg of this Super 9's tournament, New Guinea Islands proved to be a strong rugby league province with a number of development teams debuting. In the bowl's final, Ulamona took lead in the first half, maintaining possession of the ball. Ulamona led in the opening minutes 4-0 over the Kimbe Rats. The second half saw a switch in play with the Kimbe Rats taking over, dominating field position and securing a lot of the ball in the opposition's 20. The game ending 10 points to 4 with the Rats taking the ball. The weather played a defensive role in both the Bulldogs and Biala's performance in the plate as heavy rain continued to pour. Biala's loose defence and dangerous play in the middle created several opportunities for the Bulldogs to score as they took the lead in half-time 10 points to 4. The second half of the match saw the Bulldogs maintain composure while Biala managed to play catch-up football. Bulldogs came out as plate champions, the final score of 16 points to 12. The cup final was highly entertaining as a young Kimbe development squad took on a much-experienced Royals team led by former Pukpuk rep Gina Ponda. The development side at times lacked composure and with possession turned over cheaply, fought to keep their defence tight near their in-goal area. The Royals, however, used their heavy forward pack to carry the ball over the try line, securing 4 tries along the way with 2 missed conversions. Royals Cup champions with a final score of 20 points to 12. Captain Ginaponda was ecstatic with the boys' performance and says they have much more ahead of them.
I feel very happy about the boys, about our performance. We look forward to next leg of tournament in Leh.
Now, both the Rebels and the Kimber Development Squad as finalists will be heading over to Leh next week for the National Rugby League Championships, where a team will be selected to represent Papua New Guinea for the 2015 Pacific Games. Lorraine Genia, National MTV Sports, Kimber.
Commending the Morobe Province and Governor Kelly Naru on the successful delivery of the 6th PNG Games, Governor for West New Britain Sasindran Muthuvel says his province will not match the games held and hosted in Leh City. His comments come after the successful hosting of the inaugural Super Nines tournament in Kimbe. Muthuvel has said his aim is on embracing the event as the grassroots games.
While the province currently lacks infrastructural developments, Governor for West New Britain Province Sasindran Muthuvel has come forward with his plans to host the games.
At that time, I was looking at the sports infrastructure in Kokopo, where national government, assisted. National government have given more than 20 million kina to build up some sports infrastructures. And looking at all those things, I thought like our people also truly deserve, to have some basic sports infrastructure.
Muthuvel said the province missed out on the public investment program funding to fund and host the 2016 PNG Games. However, the provincial government has captured it in the 2015 budget from its own revenue towards hosting the games.
5 million kina have been allocated in this one, and we are remaining confident that West New Britain provincial government should be able to generate some revenue out of some interest revenue from the sale of our New Britain palm oil shares and all those things, maybe towards end of the year or September, October, within that first 6 months revenue. Once it is forecasted and projected, then maybe we will be able to bring a supplementary budget. Well, that time, we will definitely consider some more funding for, sports infrastructure.
Geographically, the province is unable to host in a single location, with all 4 districts as potential venues for the games. Lorraine Genia, National MTV Sports, Kimbe.
Still on Rugby League news, Tournament Director of the Rugby Super Nines competition, David Silovo, has confirmed that 2 grand finalists from each region and 1 invitational team from Brisbane, Australia, will play in the Rugby League National Championships. A total of 20 teams will be in Leh this weekend.
There's 2 invitational sides. One is the Queensland Kokomos and the other one is Romanama. Queensland Kokomo side, residents of Queensland, and played rugby league for a lot of years, and then initially most of them are retired Kumos who live in Brisbane.
And Trukai Sports continues after the break. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Good to have you back with Trukai Sports. 19-year-old Kahuna Silas is a new talent in this year's Coca-Cola Epatas Cup for the Enga Mioks team playing at hooker. Kahuna started his rugby league career at the age of 12 before his first public appearance in 2008 when he played in the Southern Regional Nines tournament.
Kahuna Silas is a proud 19-year-old who is now proud of his achievement of making it into the Enga Mioks team after his talents were recognized while playing in the Coca-Cola Epatas Cup. Kahuna said he is finally making his dreams come true in rugby league now that he is in the circle to show why he deserves a spot in the team.
Now the Antas, they were trying to scout me, but they want me to play a DGCL Cup so that I can, they'll see my strength and then they'll give me a spot to run on with the Antas, and like looking forward to my future. I want to wear a Kumul jersey and be proud of my country. I would like to thank my family for their support, my friends, and big one to my TM, Simon Mama, for supporting me to put my name into the Enga Mioks squad. And looking forward, and also my TM that I deserve the spot. The Enga Mioks scouted us, they want us to go and school down there, so looking forward to go and finish my education down there too.
He said signing up with the Enga Miox team is a great deal of event for him, giving him the opportunity to restart his education in Enga and carry on with his rugby league career. Godwin Eki, National, MTV Sports.
The PNG Rugby Football Union can now move forward with their plans for the national under-20 side after a timely backing from the Pacific Balance Fund. General Manager of PNG RFU, Frank Genia, says the under-20s program is an important part of the junior rugby programs, providing incentives for players to continue to develop in the code. The PNG under-20s will be participating in the Oceania under-20s competition in June this year and will be a qualifier for the Junior World Trophy. Well, True Kai Sports ends on that note. The weather details after these short messages. Stay with us.
True Kai Sports. True Kai Sports.
A look at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow. In southern region, Port Moresby to look forward to cloudy weather with squally showers plus rain. Rain periods expected in Daru, showers and rain in Karama, and that's the same for Alatau and Popondetta. In Momase, rain periods expected in all centres. In the New Guinea Islands, squally showers plus rain in Kimbe, showers for Kokopo and Kavieng, showers plus rain expected in Lorengau and Buka. And in the Highlands region, all centres, cloudy weather with showers and rain. Forecast for coastal waters. Gale wind warning current for all inland areas and coastal waters of Western Province to Karama, to Yule Island through to Hood Point, including West New Britain. And there's also a strong wind warning currents for all coastal waters of PNG, except for Samarai Island to Cape Bogle and Finschhafen. Forecast for small ships, waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait to Daru, to Kiwai Island, Karama, Yule Island through to Hood Point, Finschhafen, including Vitian Strait, CSC Islands and Long Island, seas of 2.5 meters to 3.5 meters, and waters of West New Britain, seas of 3 meters to 4.5 meters. An ocean forecast for PNG areas, Coral Sea sees rough to patches of very rough weather with clockwise winds at 34 to 48 knots. Solomon Sea sees slight to moderate with southwest winds at 10 to 15 knots. Bismarck Sea sees rough with northwest to southwest winds at 25 to 34 knots. And finally, Pacific Ocean sees rough to very rough with northwest to southwest winds at 34 to 48 knots. Well, that's the way it is this Monday, the 9th of March, 2015. From the news team, I'm Tokana Hasavi. Thank you for your company. You take care and stay safe. Good night.